Hi everyone, welcome to Wellspring University Counseling's monthly talk. I'm Ngọc from 685 and I'm a collaborator of WUC. It's my great pleasure to be here with all of you today and share with you a very interesting subject that anyone concerned about studying abroad should expect. That is, thinking ahead for finance, overview of financing study in the US, UK, and Australia. As you may know, there are a great deal of destinations for overseas study all across the globe. But as you can see, according to the NUMBO, the UK, US, and Australia are among the 10 best countries for education. The World University Ranking 2016-2017 also reveals that 35 out of 50 world-leading universities are in these three countries. Each year, these places attract nearly 2 million international students from all over the world, a very impressive number. All of these make UK, US, and Australia destinations of dream for many of us, even though they're among the top expensive. So what financial requirements should we be equipped with to make our dreams come true? Let's start by looking at chart number 1, table number 1, and chart number 1. You should be aware that before coming to study in these countries, you need to give your evidence of financial eligibility for the first year's tuition fee and living costs during your studies. Chart number 1 shows that the average study tuition fee in the US is the highest and lowest in UK. And if you really want to know why, I will give you the answer in the Q&A section. Regarding the living cost, while it is clearly specified in UK at more than $11,000 for students undertaking study outside London and more than $18,000 inside London, the US does not, but requires every single university and college to work out an amount for each student, which is estimated at nearly $13,000. This amount is highest in Australia at around $14,000. In general, the average studying cost in the US, which amounts up to more than $46,000, are the highest, and the lowest are in the UK at more than $30,000 outside and $37,000 inside London. Australia stays in the middle at around $14,000. You may be wondering what makes this difference in overall studying cost. So let's take a closer look at the tuition fees at different levels in table 2 to find the answer. The statistics shows that the high school education in the US is the most expensive. Then comes the UK and Australia. Parents often have to pay around $30,000 to $80,000 in the US for 1 year and around $41,000 in the UK, but only half of that in the Australia at $8,000 to $22,000. You can also infer that higher education in UK is the least expensive thanks to its shorter course, and while the US has always been the most expensive destination. Moreover, the fees in UK and Australia relate more to the school's location and study programs, but those in the US depends on types of schools. That is why the tuition fees in the US vary tremendously from school to school, from 2-year public colleges to 4-year public universities and 4-year private universities. When it comes to living costs, I would like to bring you some really interesting tools to compare day-to-day living costs of these three countries. They are the cost of living index, the indices differences, and the minimum wage. The index in these countries shows that the UK seems to be a cheaper place to live than Australia and the US because of its lower accommodation and grocery costs. And you may be wondering, What does the minimum wage imply? Virtually, the fact that Australia has a higher basic wage than UK and nearly double that in the US indicates that the cost of basic services in Australia are much higher than UK and US. And if you still want to enjoy these countries' excellent education but at a lower cost, you can follow my tips up here. Firstly, consider small schools or schools in inexpensive areas. Secondly, in the US, you can take into account two-year public universities or community college. Thirdly, in UK, you have a foundation course with 3 different choices: IFY, A-level, and IB. Instead, you can choose IFY course to save time and money. And if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask it later. So what should you do if you cannot afford your study, but you still want to? My advice is to start looking for financial support before your course begins, not midway through the academic year. Firstly,